wants to comment, at least he's gonna be informed. You know what I mean?
This is true.
But yeah, we are live once again.
All right.
Don't know what happened there. Yeah, everything froze on my end, and I just had to do a complete system restart.
Sometimes the shit just be like the joys and terrors of doing live shows from like your own studio and your own house, the internet based anything. I mean, it's tech is such a great thing until it doesn't fucking work, and it's every day, dude. Like I come up here, I won't touch my computer right for 2 days, and I'll come upstairs, and I'll just be like, all right, I'm gonna hop on, I'm gonna do X, Y, or Z. Say like I'm gonna run a race on my sim, and I hop on and I'm like load up the race, and I'm like, all right, cool, race is about to start. Let me get in the grid, and it's like configure controls, and I'm like, what do you mean configure the controls? I've never, not once have I ever changed anything. Like, why is my steering wheel not registering? Like, this is the only thing that I have on this computer that's plugged in. Like, what the fuck do you mean configure the controls?
I haven't touched this in 2 days. Like,
what I got to speed through, like, turn the wheel this way, turn the wheel that way, press the brake pedal, press the gas pedal. And it's like, and then actually, you miss the start. You're like, God fucking damn it. Like, fucking, like, so many times when we've gone to go live on row one, seat one, and we get up here and we're like, there's no audio. I'm like, what do you mean there's no audio? And Paul and Sean are like, we got no audio.
Not hearing anything in the cans.
And next thing you know, in the comments, they're like, can't hear you, can't hear you, can't hear you. And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, because Windows decided to update at like 4:30 a.m. for no reason. And it's just like, oh, yeah, by the way, we reset everything you had to default. I'm like, God fucking damn it.
Yeah, you know how you had everything working before? Well, now, not so much. That happens to me with OBS.
Yeah, OBS has actually been pretty well behaved. I've been using Streamlabs.
That's what I use. That version of OBS, yeah.
Yeah, Streamlabs OBS has been nice to me.
Oh, yeah,
I bought a Stream Deck for the first time.
Oh, yeah, I have two.
Do you? I bought one. I bought the mini to see, like, because I want to see how much I'm actually going to use it.
That was my first one, and yeah, I use it mostly for like the, transitions that we have here. And on my other stream, and also as a soundboard. The other one has the audio mixer and buttons as well. I don't utilize it as much as I should, but I have it.
I know, that's the thing. Like, because in order to do row one, C1, like we take phone calls.
Yeah.
And the only way for me to get a phone into my computer to be able to do the calls, I have to have an actual mixer. Mm-hmm. And I have it like guinea rigged through like this iRig thing, which is like an iPhone thing for your guitar. And like, anyway, it's a whole big thing. But I figured out how to do it, to be able to take phone calls on our show, because our show is very, it's user friendly.
Radio.
Right. Like, what's the point of having, a call? Like, no one wants to hear the three of us just talk about sports if they can't call in and tell us we're fucking assholes. And I enjoy that anyway, because you know me, I thrive off of hate. But
yes.
So I have to have a mixer. So like I don't have a lot of use, because a lot of the shit, like with a lot of like these Stream Decks and all these other things, it would just be so redundant. You know what I mean? That I'm like, okay, well, that does the exact same thing this does. I'm just gonna plug something into here, like, so it just becomes kind of a pain in the ass. I'd love to get rid of the mixer if I could, and just be like a full, like, just USB base everything.
Yes.
But then again, I'm like USB based mics. Like, then when like a camera doesn't work because the drivers are outdated, like, you don't get that with XLR mics. It plugs in and it works. Like,
that's true. Yeah.
I'm so reluctant to leave the older tech for the newer shit, even though it's cleaner, more, compact, easier to run. Like, and then with USB shit too, it's like nothing ever comes with a long enough USB cable. Like my computer, you can see it, it's behind me. Like, that's, I mean, what, 7-8 feet behind me? So all my shit's over here in front of me. I need at least 10-foot USB cables. Most of these things come with like a 3-foot if I'm lucky. Yep. So now I'm going to buy extension cords and a USB extender cables. And it's like, oh, it better be the right USB extender cable, because some are only good for like, basic, like really basic shit like keyboard and mouse. And the others are, like for the ones for the cameras, they got to be like USB 3 and like blah, 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 like data transfer, blah, 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 and they're all expensive and shit. And it's like, fuck, like such a pain in the dick.
No, but you're right about that, and I say that as somebody with mostly USB based stuff right now, because of the convenience.
Yeah, Like, well, if it was just me, it'd be one thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I have two other hosts with me, the co-hosts with me. So on Tuesday, so I need like
it makes more sense, to have the
mics,
XLR and
2 cameras. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot more shit that kind of goes into it, I guess, if you will. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just fucking tough. But I get it. The tech side of things is a fucking bitch.
It is. And
big bitch.
Speaking of tech, that has to do with the other story I wanted to bring up today.
Yeah, we can leave we can get off the Ukraine.
I think we said everything we needed to about it, really. Like, everyone knows where we stand on it.
Yeah, I'm on team fuck Russia and also fuck Ukraine. So
yeah,
they can both
stop this shit.
They can both kiss my fat white ass. I would just like for people to not die every day, and that's good. I think less war is better, right?
Yes.
Stop me when I start sounding liberal.
I can't stop you.
I'm gonna put on some Grateful Dead and eat some Ben and Jerry's and talk about how war is bad, man. Like, the corporations, man, like they're just in it for the money, man.
I'm gonna go put a flower in a soldier's gun.
I got some stuff you should read, bro.
Well, that is exactly what the Zizian cult would tell you, Joey.
Yeah, so you got to fill me in on this because you brought this up pre-show, and I was like, "What?" And you were like, "Oh, good."
Yeah, so Joey doesn't know anything about this. I am, out of the two of us, the true crime aficionado. We might call this Trav's True Crime Corner at some point if this becomes frequent enough. But
a regular deal.
This is about the Zizian cult, and it's a recent thing. I'm just reading off their Wikipedia now. I'll put it up on screen. But, yeah, they're a small offshoot of the rationalist community, quote-unquote rationalist, with alleged involvement in 6 violent deaths across the United States. They're derived from the name of a group member who is sometimes characterized as their leader, but the term is only used by the group's critics. The people themselves do not use this name or even consider themselves blah, blah, blah. So basically, getting into their beliefs here, it says they generally hold anarchist beliefs, emphasize animal rights. They're vegans. They believe the hemisphere of the brain can have different genders and conflicting interests. So that a good number of them are transgender. And they've been described as radical or cult-like by publications such as The Independent.
And they all do CrossFit.
Oh, no. Maybe some. But as far as related deaths, they've been linked to 6 deaths across the United States.
Due to morbid obesity? Was I way off?
Well, one was David Mayland. This was the most recent one in January of this year. He was a Border Patrol agent. This happened in Vermont. Then Curtis Lind, a landlord in California.
I feel like I heard about the Border Patrol agent in Vermont.
Yeah, because that happened closer to us. But some of these other ones happened on the West Coast. Like, what they did to this landlord, they went and killed him twice, essentially. They stabbed the shit out of this guy. He lost an eye. He got stabbed, like, dozens of times. He survived. And then, like, years later, they went back and killed him anyways.
We didn't get you, but we gonna get you.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's like the last kid that survives until the very end of the fucking Final Destination movies. They're like, "Oh, good, we made it through," and he goes and lights the grill, and the grill explodes.
Yes, exactly, something like that. Now, this story is crazy. There's no way I can cover all of this, but
survived plane crashes, trains accidents, buildings collapsing, cranes collapsing, like gunfire, and then the next thing you know, I'm like, I'm gonna light this grill. It just explodes for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, they're related. They're connected to 6 deaths. They also have like a number of them are very heavy into tech. So some of them like ran AI stuff, and some of them have made claims to be hackers and stuff like this. That typical. What you would expect from that side of the field when it comes to activists and like the extremists, because really they can't fight physically, so they do it, via the internet.
Naturally.
But they have killed people, and they've been described as a death cult as well, because their writings have been found. Like a good number of them have been apprehended at this point or are dead themselves.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost, again, I can't get into all of this right now because it's so vast, but there are a number of good videos that will break it down on YouTube, and it is a crazy fucking story.
So give me the Cliff Notes version that I would need just to catch up.
All right, these crazy people all meet up somehow, one way or another, via the internet. They convene. They essentially
a bunch of vegan transgenders. Okay, so there's
yes.
all right. There's 3 strikes.
They eventually overtake this property. Well, because it happened during COVID when they were already on there, so they claimed squatters' rights, and this was just when they were in California, where they're like, "Oh yeah, you can't kick anybody out during COVID."
Right, which you can just do whatever you want in California because there's no law out there.
So they stay there, and they essentially have like a Manson family kind of setup out there.
We're going California way.
Mm-hmm. But they had weapons. They had all this other shit.
In California?
Yeah.
I thought that was illegal.
Mm-hmm. Well, they figured it out.
Not for the vegan transgenders, it's not.
Oh, and the leader faked their own death at least twice.
At least twice.
I mean, for certain, because then they became trans, and so they were no longer going by their previous name. So then they were now known as something else, and as a woman, and then moved across the country and set up shop there.
I think at one point, like, if somebody was like, "Oh, they faked their own death," they'd be like, "All right, they faked their own death." Like, okay. And then the next time, like, "Oh my God, they're dead," they'd be like, "You sure about that?" Yeah, I think I'm going to be a little skeptical here until I see the body myself. You know, I'm not believing that.
Well, then there was and a bunch of them were apprehended before on different charges, and like violent charges as well, and let go subsequently, including the leader more than once. And then this happens. Now they're strung to all these deaths, where they should have been implicated, and they were, in fact, just poorly by inept police forces when they were initially apprehended those first few times. But they slipped through the cracks.
Let me guess, the FBI knew about them.
Yeah, they were
on the FBI's radar.
Well, they were people of interest in at least the first, like, or maybe the second or third homicide. They were
of course they were.
But they just didn't have enough on them, or didn't think they did enough to, prosecute. So
naturally,
didn't happen. And now this happens. Now there's several more dead. Thankfully, quite a few of a decent number of them got taken out, like a handful of them, because they fucked around and found out. They started shooting at police.
Good old Fight Davidian branch.
Yeah.
Little Ruby Ridge.
Well, no. See, those people, at least in hindsight, had
the moral high ground.
Yeah, I'm not saying I agree with their beliefs at all or anything like that.
But they weren't wrong. It was the overzealous ATF and FBI that fucked those people.
The ATF completely fucked everything up with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, can we just get rid of the ATF? Like, what do they even do?
I mean, they gave Elvis that bad. Nixon gave Elvis that title.
Yeah, like, I mean, if they did cool stuff for alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, just like 3 awesome things.
Yeah, like in Beavis and Butthead, we're making you agents of the ATF, alcohol, tobacco.
Yes. Yeah, cool.
But yeah, it doesn't mean you. Like, how
did you ever see the newer Beavis and Butthead episode where they sit on a jury?
I haven't seen many of the new episodes. I did see the newer movie, and I saw some of the new episodes.
Oh, the new movie was great. It was Beavis and Butthead Do America just in 2022.
Yeah, they do the universe, and it's
it was great. I love like sentient Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, like smart
Beavis and Butthead. They're wicked. They're wicked funny. No, you have to watch the episode. There's one episode where they do like Beavis and Butthead are older, and they sit on a jury. And there's a guy who's he's being charged with manslaughter, and they're like, "Whoa, that's cool." And they're like, "Yeah, manslaughter, like the slaughter of man." And
Maybe I did see that one.
Dude, it is so fucking, and it's through like the completely backwards, retarded ways. Like they end up like exonerating the guy who's being charged. And they're like, wait a minute. And all the other jurors are like, hold on, these boys are right. Look, this isn't the same guy. And they're like, wait, that guy's not being charged with manslaughter? They're like, no, he didn't do it. And they're like, huh, he's a loser. He's guilty. Like, they completely like changed it too because they thought he was cool because he committed manslaughter. Oh, dude, it's so goddamn funny. It's one of my favorite Beavis and Butthead episodes ever. Like,
the new stuff slaps because Mike Judge brought him into the modern world, and actually that newer movie was the vehicle to explain why they're here in modern times at the same age that they were back in the 90s.
And not only that, but like, did you watch the episodes that came out, like, what was it, like 14 years ago, like 2010, 2011?
Yeah, when it was supposed to come back, and it didn't last that long.
It came out for like a season or two. And
I think it was like 2.
Those were fucking hysterical. They did music videos again.
Mm-hmm. Which was some of the best jokes came from that. I mean,
dude,
the cartoon itself was great, but them riffing on music videos was the best part of it.
Yeah, it really was. The music videos were fucking king. But then they, in the newer one, like the newer episodes, they did like Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
Then in the newest season, they did
like TikTok stuff.
Yeah, they had WAP in there, the music video for WAP, and they're like, imagine being a real estate agent trying to sell this place, like, and here's the 3-inch pool where you can see a bunch of bitches dancing in it. Like, it's just like, I don't understand. It's so fucking funny, dude. Like, it's just peak fucking 90s comedy in 2020.
Dude, what it comes down to is Mike Judge just doesn't miss. Everything he does is funny. Inherently,
he really does, dude.
It doesn't matter who you are; it is funny. Like whether
like
it's
Mike Judge, he's right there with Matt and Trey, dude. Like Matt, Trey, Mike Judge. That's your trio.
Mm-hmm.
That's like your triumvirate of just impeccable comedy. And if you wanted to make it like a Mount Rushmore, Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
And I think like those 4 people are like untouchable, godlike comedians in terms of what they've produced over the course of their lives. But anyway.
And all pretty much contemporaries. Granted, Dave, broke out later than they did. Not by that much.
But Dave Chappelle, like that 2-season run of Chappelle Show,
legendary,
might be the greatest 2 seasons of any show ever.
I find that hard to disagree with. Yeah,
I think we talked about it a couple months ago. But like, if you took like you could find like maybe like 2 seasons of South Park in order that could compete with Chappelle Show. But like just as a standalone show, like I mean, when the first episode is about a black white supremacist who's blind, like you just can't.
It was such a lightning in a bottle and microcosm of the time too. It was like,
oh my god, dude!
It was like, right in that sweet spot where that was acceptable on network television. Well, not network, but cable, and everyone was okay with it. It was just like, we're all laughing at this because it's funny.
Because it was so ridiculous. And like everybody, like most people understood it was ridiculous.
Yes.
But then people obviously took it, like everything, people take it too far, get too comfortable.
The general level of sense of humor was at an all-time high. It was just like, you can make fun of anything. And yeah, some people will get offended, but at the end of the day, it's a joke.
Like I think we showed. I think we were trying to tell my mom. I got to show my mom this week the Black Bush shit because like me and my brother were trying to explain it to her like a couple weeks ago. And she was like, "Huh?" And I'm like,
"What?"
I'm like, "You gotta see it. Like it's like if George Bush was black." Like what? Like I'm like, trust me, it's wicked funny.
It would have made a whole lot more sense, like 20.
Yeah, like now go back to like 2004 when this came out, or 2003 when this came out, and like I'm telling you, it's way funnier. He's like, we got a coalition of 40 nations, son. Japan's bringing PlayStations. Like it's just like when they're like, oh, what do you say about people that say that you're only there for their oil? Oil. Bitch, you cooking? Like, yeah. Oil. He just slaps over the fucking pitcher of water. Run! Create like the meaningless distraction and just dip. Mm-hmm. Oh my god, it was so good. That show was so spot on. And it was right there.
It brought everybody together, man. Like everybody was
I know. I hate that. Like Dave had like felt the way he did and had to like or was forced him to feel the way he did because he felt like he was making racism like too light of it. I guess was like his beef. Like he was like, people would come up to me and they like they'd see me in the streets and he'd be like, they'd be like whatever like fuck your couch or whatever, but like they drop like an N-bomb on him and he'd be like, whoa, like yo, chill, man. I'm like, I'm having dinner with my wife and my kid, like like I don't need you, but like people are so fucking vapid. Yeah, like it's like cool, man. Like it's like you see somebody famous in real life, and like the first thing you do is like go quote their work to them, like
scream their catchphrase at one of their
like come on, dude. You can't just walk up to them and be like, hey, man, like if you have to say something to them, which I don't believe you should,
no,
because I'm a big fan of just like not saying shit to anybody and just letting them live their life, but like one time,
entitled asshole would be like, I am so important. I need to go and introduce myself to that important
person. Yeah, because you need to know me. Like, nope. I think it's the other way around. And like, I think one time I did that. I stopped, and it wasn't even like I stopped him, but like I was at Logan Airport, and I was getting dinner at Legal Seafoods, and Jay Cutler, the bodybuilder, was sitting 2 seats down from me.
And you sucked it.
And I would have if I realized what was going on. But I looked down, I'm like, I looked down, I got the corner of my eye, and I'm like, damn, this dude's fucking kind of yoked. I'm like, what the fuck?
I thought that'd be Jay Cutler, and not the
and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, hey, Jay Cutler was a good fucking quarterback. Okay, I don't care what anybody fucking says. I will die on that hill.
He didn't live up to his potential. I'll just say
if Jay Cutler had been drafted by or Mike Shanahan hadn't been fired at the end of the 08 season, Jay Cutler would be the new Patrick Mahomes. Okay, Patrick Mahomes would be the new Jay Cutler. Let's put it that way.
That's a bold statement.
Jay Cutler was every bit as talented as Patrick Mahomes. Okay, he just threw to the wrong team a couple times more, and didn't have the coach. He had to play Chicago. What do you want? Like, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ! I mean, think about it. He's the all-time fucking Bears leading passer in every category. But anyway, I digress. I will die on the hill that Jay Cutler is a great fucking quarterback. But I'm sitting there and I'm at Legal Seafoods, and I'm like, this is kind of fucking yoked. I'm like, I'm a big boy. I don't know my way around the gym, but like that dude's fucking big. Like he's a monster. And I look down, I'm like, oh shit! I'm like tapping my wife, like, babe, that fucking Mr. Olympia. And she's like, what? I'm like, that's Jay Cutler. She's like, the quarterback? And I'm like,
the mediocre quarterback who you.
She's like the guy you kept telling me like he kind of sucks right now, but he'll be good someday.
Just like Stan said, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck you. No. I'm like, no, that's Jay Cutler's Olympian. Like, as he was getting out to leave, I turned around, I was like, hey, Mr. Cutler, and he's like, stops him. I'm like, hey, man, I just wanted to shake his hand. Hey, man, I just want to say, like, big fan. And I shook his hand. Oh, thank you, man. Like, have a good day, man. Safe travels. Thank you. And he just kept pushing. And I was like, whoa,
cool. That's all it should be if it's going to be anything.
I was like, that was just so much shorter than I realized, like, in real life.
Well, I guess I mean that's all relative. The TV makes everybody look bigger too.
No, I know, but like, I think he's only like 5'9", and I was like,
he's taller than I am.
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, way shorter than I thought. Let me see. Is he how tall? Yeah, 5'9". Damn, why am I so good at this? He's 5'9", but yeah, but this means probably like 280 pounds.
5'9", 280, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, this dude's fucking huge.
It's a 5'9" brick shithouse. Yeah, that's
no kidding. Like I watched a video of him today, like just repping out like 4 plates on the incline bench for a set of 12. I'm like, all right, bet. God damn! I'm like, I mean, I've repped out 4 plates on the incline. I think like 3 or 4 was my best. And that was a struggle. He made 12 look easy. I was like, damn it. I have so much further to go.
Well, he's got that lower center of gravity, which makes all the difference on an incline.
Yeah, lower center of gravity. I heard Tran reduces your center of gravity, too.
Tran reduces a lot of things.
Yeah. So I was like, maybe I need to get on that. Start trending hard and eating clean.
Anytime I see these vegan bodybuilders pop up in my algorithm, I'm like, yeah, that's trend.
Yeah.
Because that's technically vegan. So
True.
like, there's no way you have that physique just based on plant-based proteins and a vegan.
Oh no,
no, you're full of shit.
And dude, that's the thing. Like, there's so much bullshit. Like, the fitness industry has got to be one of the biggest lies.
Then on the other side of the coin of that is guys like the Liver King. He had to publicly admit that he's been on the juice before. Like, it's. He
was living on the juice for years. Like
he's on juice.
His year budget was like $12,000 a month. Granted, he was on growth hormone, which is super expensive.
And you want to talk about a shorter guy? That guy is like shorter than I am, I think. And
was he?
I'm 5'7". He's got to be. He's probably around my height, maybe like 5'5".
I mean, that would make sense. Let me see.
But you never really see him against any other big other people. That's why it's skewed. Like, if he was standing next to you, yeah, he looks like a jacked little guy. Because that's what he is.
Height and weight.
That can. He's famously full of shit. So.
Yeah, I know. I'm not. Reddit is a Reddit right here. Liver King is a short king.
Yeah.
Why can't I just find his fucking height and weight? Like, he's 45 from Texas. Oh, here we go. Height. 5'7". You're right.
Yeah, so my height, but
5'7", $175.
So he's got like 30.
Isn't that big?
30 pounds on me.
Which I mean,
that's the thing. He is shredded, but that's because of all the fucking juice he was on.
Well, that's it. Like when they were talking about people are again, and this is whole other thing. Like, the fitness industry is so full of shit on a day-to-day basis. Like every fucking pro, like every single supplement, whether from protein to creatine to post-workout, pre-workout, during your workout, like all that shit, like 9 out of 10 times that shit is so useless to the average person, right? Like for me, and I only recently noticed, like, got to a point in my training where I noticed, like, whether or not I was taking in enough calories, whether or not I was eating the right stuff at the right times, and shit like that. Like, where my body was, like, I was actually starting to dial my shit into a point where, like,
yeah, you were getting in tune with your own body.
Yeah, if I didn't eat right starting Saturday, like my chest days on Tuesdays, I was fucked.
Yeah, you noticed when, subtleties of it.
Yeah, so like I used to tell people all the time, because people would always like, when I worked like Planet Fitness for that 1 year. People come up to me. I was a big kid. Like, I was always a big guy. Like, I played college football. Like, I was coming off of playing football all the time. I was a big dude. I could move more weight than anybody in that gym. And people would come up to me all the time. They'd be like, yo, what do you take? What supplements do you take? And I'm like, dude, I don't know. Like, I take fucking, like, protein and creatine. Like, that's it. And they're like, but what should I take? Because, like, I want to get big, but, like, I don't want to get, like, gross bodybuilder huge. And I'm like, oh, trust me, you won't. Believe me, with that attitude alone, you're not getting anywhere close to as gross bodybuilder huge. Like, what do you think? Like, guys just like decide to take like 72 supplements a day and they get gross bodybuilder huge? I'm like, what are you, fucking retarded? Like, that shit takes fucking years of dedication and practice and applying yourself to a one fucking goal to get gross bodybuilder huge. And like I had this one kid be like, oh, I can't take creatine, man. Creatine makes me rage out. And I'm like, do you rage out after you eat a steak? And he's like, what? And I'm like, if you eat a steak, do you rage out afterwards? He's like, no. And I'm like, then it's not creatine. And he's like, what do you mean? Like, there's more creatine in a steak than when you eat a steak than when you would actually take from like a supplement. He's like, no. And I'm like, my mom's just the creatine. I said, no, that's your mom trying to blame something else because you're a shitty fucking kid. I said,
you're a beast.
I said, because you're a fucking 16-year-old hormonal fucking animal.
Asshole.
And, yeah, you're just an asshole. So just fucking grow up. How's that? And he's like, oh, fuck you, man. Like, and I'm like, get the fuck out of my gym, man. I don't give a shit. And I said I probably could have got fired for that one. Because I told this was literally like 16 years old coming to the gym with his mom and his dad, like stepdad. And it's like, and this kid's such a piece of shit. He's like, oh, bro. Everybody's bigger than me. He's only bigger than me because they're on roids. And I'm like,
No,
I'm bigger than you. I'm not on roids. And he's like, all right, well, like maybe like one out of every like 100. And I'm like, he's bigger than you. He's not on roids. He's bigger than you. He's not on roids. He's like, I'm only 17, bro. And I'm like, okay, so why are you comparing yourself to everybody? Like, you're a kid was such a fucking basket case. But to my point, he bought into like all the bullshit that the supplement industry was selling him. And I'm like, dude, none of this shit means anything to you. Like, you can take BCAAs and creatine and pre-workout, post-workout, all this stuff, proteins and all this shit. I'm like, you still eat like shit. You don't train nearly hardly enough or often enough. None of this means anything to you. Like it might mean something to a guy like Jay Cutler or Ronnie Coleman, who's like so dialed in as a professional athlete that they know like, oh shit, I'm feeling a certain type of way. My body's probably lacking B12 right now. Or I need some, extra vitamin D or whatever. Like, or my iron levels low. Like those guys, but they get blood work done like on a regular basis. Like they know.
Some fucking big
you're just you're just a fucking pre-diabetic fat piece of shit. Like whatever.
Yeah, he's not actively trying to earn it. It's just like the former helper I had at the railroad job. He was eating nothing but garbage all day, drinking like 4 Monsters a day. Two would be zero sugar. But his teeth were rotting out of his face. He had horrible fucking hydration. He would barely drink water, even in the summer, and we have to work outside in all conditions.
Yeah.
While wearing pants the whole time, too. So
Don't you hate pants?
Yes. I really do. In the summer.
Yeah.
I'm right there with Homer, burning them. Mm-hmm. But, you literally are what you eat. You put good in, you get good out. Now that doesn't mean you have to completely alter your diet, but everybody reaches a point in their life. It could be at a younger age, it could be at a middle life age, or maybe even later if you're lucky, where you have to balance it all out.
It's funny because I only recently got to a point where I noticed it. And it was this past fall, and I was gunning for a PR. I was gunning for a big number on the bench. I wanted this PR. I wanted to get it, and I had come up like I was close to my PR, like 15 pounds off of my PR. I hit like 485.
Yeah.
On one particular week, right? And I'm like, okay, next week, like. Or like I'm feeling next week, like I'm gonna break through this. Like I'm feeling good. Like I'm gonna break through it. I'm gonna hit 500. Like that was my goal for this session.
Yeah.
The next week I come in and I'm struggling to put 455 on my chest. Like I can't hit 455. I'm like, what the fuck? And this is on a Tuesday. Tuesday was my chest day because my brother and I both have a brother's my spotter, my training partner. Like he does a lot with me. And I trust him and whatever. But Tuesday's my chest day, and I'm like thinking back, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Why does 455 feel like
heavier than what you just did?
1,000 fucking pounds? Like this doesn't make sense. Then I start thinking back. What did I eat on Monday? And I'm like, I had a Cornish. Me and my wife split a Cornish game hen. And my wife, who was at the time in a calorie deficit, was eating the same amount for dinner as I was trying to be in a surplus. Okay, so that math, right? And then Sunday, barely ate anything. Like had maybe like a meal. Saturday, barely ate. Friday, Thursday. I'm like, I've consumed maybe 6,000 calories over the last 5 days, like 4 days. I'm like, there's your fucking problem. And I wasn't drinking. And while I was doing this, I wasn't drinking. So like that wasn't a problem. Like I didn't have like that issue.
Right.
But so that Tuesday, I said, fuck this. I went to the grocery store. I blew like $280 on food, and I said 6,000 calories a day from now until I fucking hit my PR. And I mean, I was at work just eating just steak and rice, chicken and rice, chicken and potatoes, veg, just 2 hours, eat something. Didn't matter. I was eating Twinkies, fucking cosmic brownies. Like it didn't matter. I was consuming everything.
You at that point, you're just looking for calories.
Yep.
I was just you were looking for proteins as well.
Yep. And I would try to err on the side of like the shit I knew was good, but at the same time, I was like, I don't think my body fucking cares at this point. It's burning everything, so who gives a shit? And I ate so shitty for 6 straight days. I went in the next day, the next Tuesday, and I had my IPL. And I was like, oh, that's what I was doing. I wasn't eating it. Like people don't understand like how much diet comes into it, and then they get fooled into like these by these companies about supplements, and they're like, oh, well, yeah, I don't eat right, you do shit. Like Jay Cutler takes this supplement.
Yeah, they take it as a face value and a be-all, end-all. They're not actually reading into it because it says it on the labels of all these things. Take this as a supplement to
as a dietary supplement
with the rest of your dietary intake.
Exactly.
So you use this that's why they're literally called supplements. You use it to supplement your daily intake. And for everybody's goals are different. Some people might need more calories in one day, carbs, protein.
Oh my God, absolutely. And that's another thing people don't understand either. Is like, bro, like, yeah, you gotta know your body. Like, listen. I've been doing this for 21 years now. April makes 21 years since I got my first gym membership. Like I've always been a strong kid. I've always been able to move weight since I started lifting. Like it took me probably like a year and a half of actually lifting weights. And then I got one of our buddies, and he trained me like after high school and early college. And also I started throwing around like a massive amount of weight. And I've always been able to do that. Like I've always been a pretty strong dude. Just naturally, like just kind of. I went from my freshman year of college. I was 217. By the time I hit spring break, I was 235. And then the following year, I was 265. Yeah. And I don't think I've been under 261 since then. And when I say I did a hard cut, I mean I did a hard cut. And it was like you want to talk about being weak? I looked like an AIDS patient. I didn't look good. I didn't like dude. I was so fucking weak. I was fast as fuck. Because I was still playing football at the time. And dude, I felt like I could play wide receiver at that point. I was so quick. And I was like, oh shit. I'm at 255. I'm like, dude, it's like running on air. And then, but all of a sudden, I also played left tackle and defensive ends. I would go like try to block somebody, and I'd be like, all right, cool. And next thing you know, I'm getting moved backwards. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck is this?
Oh yeah, I don't weigh as much.
I don't move backwards. I'm like, oh wait, I only weigh 255. That's like a normal fucking. That's an easy weight for any normal, healthy, athletic male to move around. I was like, fuck this shit.
But the guy pushing me was like 300 pounds, maybe.
Yeah. And I still held my own. I definitely held my own, but I wasn't nearly as productive as I should have been. And next session, I was like, no, fuck this, back to 280. I was like, fuck off. And I got back to 280, and I was like, all right, I'm like, I can't play receiver now, but I could have.
Could have under different circumstances.
Yeah. I mean, I think I did actually line up tight end once or twice.
I could see that working.
Yeah. I think I did catch one touchdown.
Yeah, dude. Mike Vrabel caught a touchdown for Christ's sake.
Mike Vrabel caught 10 touchdowns. Sorry.
Well, I meant one huge one.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
He caught way more than one. Yes.
And Mike Vrabel's caught touchdowns in Super Bowls.
Yes.
Ace, but yeah.
That's the one I was thinking of. I know he's caught more than
against Philadelphia.
That was the old trick play that Belichick would whip out.
Yep. And he had Javon Curse man on man, and Javon Curse like dragged him down by the jersey. He still caught it. Great catch.
And I remember after they had run it, at that point, at least 8 times, the commentators would be like, "Well, Vrabel's on the line there." Like, what's it?
Gee,
I
wonder what we're gonna do.
And they immediately just dump it to him, and he
bubble catch.
Why is nobody?
Yeah.
I mean, some people covered him, but it wasn't enough in most
Well,
cases.
he was always covered, but it didn't matter. I mean, the man's got double-digit touchdowns in the NFL as a linebacker. That's pretty impressive. I mean,
it is.
I think the Patriots got a real gem in that head coach.
I think that's how they should have went the previous year. For some
I
reason, they
agree.
went with Mayo. I like Gerard Mayo.
Well, we all know the reason why they went with him.
Yeah. Well, that's no longer a thing. I'd like to think that's not the reason why he got hired in the first place.
No, Mayo I think will be a good. I don't know that actually. From what I saw out of Mayo this year, I don't know that Mayo will ever make it as a head coach.
I
like him, good dude. But I don't think he's head coach.
Linebacker coach, sure, maybe defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he'll be a good assistant somewhere. You know, on the team. He'll be an asset to a team somewhere. But it takes a special kind of person to be a head coach. And when you're trying to be that buddy with the players, try to be one of the boys, and that, nah. Like he's not nearly mature enough to be a head coach yet.
Yeah, it's a difference there. He took it from a player's approach and not a head coach.
Yeah, big time.
Which, can be detrimental, of course, as we saw.
Extremely.
But that's neither here nor there. That's in the upcoming season. And I think with that being said, Joey, I think that'll be calling it for the night. How about you say?
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we covered everything. I mean, we dunked on, we covered Trump telling Zelenskyy to get his fucking shine box. Plenty.
Come back when you got a fucking suit, you bum.
Yeah. You 5'7" midget. I love my favorite meme is the one of like they put Zelenskyy's face on the midget that they toss on Wolf Street, like on the Velvet Wall.
I've seen the one of they photoshopped Zelensky's face on Kevin McAllister's body in the scene of Home Alone 2.
Yeah, the door is down. Yeah, I think I posted that one.
I might have gotten that off of you.
Yeah. That was one of mine. And again, just one last thing on the Ukraine Zelenskyy thing. Like,
sure.
If you are this upset about the Ukrainian Russian invasion of Ukraine, and you're this upset about people losing their lives, this war and this war, if you voted for Joe Biden in 2020, I hate to say it, but the blood's on your hands.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't hate to say it at all. I'm just going to say it loudly and proudly because the blood's on your hands. Because we explicitly told you. If Joe Biden gets in, this is going to happen. And within what? 13 months of Biden getting elected? No, 4 months of Biden getting elected. It was
Russia invaded.
Russia invaded. So, you did this. If you didn't want the Russians to be the aggressors, you should have voted for Donald Trump and not for the oatmeal-brained pedophile that you did, and his partner, the cackling cunt, who have absolutely no business in politics at any level other than grifting.
And running a goddamn clown show. Like we all know that. Yeah.
Love it.
Absolutely right, Joey. Couldn't have said it better myself. Yes, we leave the people with these kind gestures.
Because we are the people, Travis. We are the people. We are the people. We speak for the people who are too afraid to speak for themselves.
For better or worse, we are. And, we'll be chastised. We'll continue to be called every horrible name under the sun, even though it doesn't even fucking apply. We endure.
The more names I get called, the more effective I know I am.
Basically, our reputations precede ourselves at this point, and I don't view it as a bad thing. Embrace the hate.
Like the late Dale Earnhardt said, whether they boo you or they cheer you, as long as they're making noise, you're doing something right.
Goddamn right. R.I.P.
Dale.
The Intimidator. Even I know that.
Hell yeah, brother.
Well, folks,
good show.
Thanks for watching. Yeah, good show as always. Good talk, Joey. We'll be back next week, or if not, we'll let you know. But
we'll shoot back next Monday. I have nothing. I got my schedule's pretty free and clear, so it should be good.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine as always. You just let me know.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good night, and everybody else, thanks for being here.
Crab, thank you everybody for listening. See you next week.